They don't want you to think for yourselves. They want you to depend on them to give you what you need. Yo, what's up everybody? This is Pastor Divine. Today we're going to be doing a video about Jesus being a communist or a socialist, or if Jesus was a socialist. This video is going to be very controversial, so if you're not into politics, just don't watch this video. I'm going to be talking about my view of socialism and communism, capitalism, who Jesus was, what he stood for, blah blah blah. I'm not going to watch the whole video. I only did a little bit of it because the video would have been so long. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and comment down below what your thoughts are and how we could solve the poverty rate, homeless rate, and blah blah blah. So, see you guys next time. Soviet you, like Prager you. I like that, how they do.
Comrades. This video is meant for those of the Christian faith.
Ah, yes.
Was Jesus a socialist?
This is what I do on my break time. Seriously, this is what I do on my break time. Is I make content for you guys like this.
Obviously, Jesus is all about kindness.
Oh, yes.
Socialism is an economic and social system that is beyond any relevant matters of kindness. To get an accurate answer...
Is this a troll? Wait, is this a troll? No way, this can't be real.
Obviously, Jesus is all about kindness.
Yes.
While socialism is an economic and social system that is beyond any relevant...
Nothing about kindness. Jesus was about kindness. This is a troll, isn't it? I think this video is a troll.
Of kindness. To get an accurate answer to our question, we need to first define socialism.
Has to be.
Socialism, which is also known as lower stage communism, begins with the replacement of state ownership. By this, I mean that the working class will replace the capitalist class and take over the state from them. The vanguard party representing the working class will then seize the means of production and begin the economic transition from capitalism to communism. Socialism was not a term in any language back when Jesus was in the...
Y'all have a socialism? Yes, my name is Jesus. Yeah. Socialism is a construct of kindness, love, yes.
Nor are there any specific quotes in the Bible of socialism being a demand of God or anyone else. However, there are many quotes from the Bible and from Jesus and his followers that attribute to what is wanted by socialists. Before I make those comparisons, another note should be added. Greed is seen as a sin in Christianity.
Greed is a sin, yes. I want to hear what he has to say about this, though.
Sins are meant to be refused. If greed is a part of human nature, then that destroys the entire idea that sins can be refused.
Okay, so greed, yes, is a sin. Does having a lot of money mean that you're greedy? No. Let's get into this because I understand where he's coming from. I understand where he is and where he gets this, but no, greed is not bad in the terms of obviously wanting to be successful. You know, you could even say just waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth for yourself is greedy. Okay? You're doing it for yourself. To be a better person, I guess you're greedy. Doesn't work exactly like that. And to have a lot of money does not mean you're greedy. It just means you're saving up. I want to hear what he has to say though.
And if sins cannot be refused, then humans were rigged from the very beginning, and therefore no matter what, because of human nature, would be sent to burn to flame in eternal hell.
I love the art right now that's being used. Okay, so mankind from the beginning was not corrupt. There was Adam and Eve. There was no sin. There was evil, because obviously Satan was there, and what he did was evil. But there wasn't sin in the way of Adam and Eve disobeying yet. Sin entered the world through his creation of mankind when Adam chose to disobey. And yes, from that point on, you were born into sin, okay? We are sinful beings. We can refuse sin because there's two different types of sin, all right? There's intentional sin and there's unintentional sin. The sins that we know that we're going to commit without knowing, and then there's sins that we just commit that we do know we're doing, that we have a conviction in us. So there are two different types of sin when it comes to that. But greed, I would say, is not, you would have to look at the full definition of greed.
Now obviously, because greed is a sin that we must refuse, in turn it is avoidable. And socialists want to replace capitalism with socialism because capitalism forces people to be greedy to survive, while socialism...
When? See, I'm more of a capitalist than I ever will be a socialist. I work hard, I earn money, To do what? To buy computers and I guess TV, phone in order to produce videos, to be able to contact with friends. I guess doing everything is a sin, I guess, in the standard that he's saying. And either way, even in socialism, you get money. You still have to work to get what you want, but the government just takes a lot more. So either way you look at it, there's going to be greedy people on both sides. And you're going to see a heck of a lot more of it when you can't afford to help other people. But instead, you're just going to keep for yourself in a socialist country. Okay? People do starve. People don't have much. The government takes everything. So I would say there's more greed in a socialist country. It breeds more greed, I would say, in a socialist country than it does in a capitalist. Because here we actually have the choice and the will to do more. But in a socialist country, everybody's equally poor and no one's above each other and you can't help each other. So that's why socialists want to come here. That's why people from socialist countries, Cuba, Venezuela, even Russia, China, are coming here. Canada are coming here because they want to have an opportunity to be successful and to get a better paying job. Does that make that person greedy? According to this guy, yes.
Capitalism puts human needs before such things. Capitalists do not earn their wealth. Sure, they understand how to make a business, how to price products, what to make, and how it should be made. But if you really think about it, the common worker can figure that out too. When the working class owns the state, so will the means of production. And in turn, the community will create the demand for what to produce and how. And since socialism does not focus on profit before human need...
It does actually. It does. Socialism requires the government to own about almost everything. If socialism leads to communism, that means socialism somehow gives the government more control, which makes who more powerful and more greedy, more rich? The elites. Which then the elites can do whatever they want to us.
There would be a lot more room to reward those who work. Another thing that most conservatives have is a strong view of borders. Yet whose land is this? Did God give permission to the congressman to say whose land is for what?
Yes. All throughout Scripture you see in the Old Testament and the New Testament that God is completely fine with borders and lines and knowing what is yours. The Bible speaks so much about property and owning your own stuff, where he drew a line. He literally explained that there was a fine line to not cross when it comes to other people's stuff. Jesus spoke about this.
If anything, this land belongs to the Native Americans.
This right here, I love it when people like bring this the United States and Native American tribes. Not every single piece of land in America was owned by a tribe, okay? Not every single piece of land. Tribes were scattered. To say every single inch was owned by a tribe, you're wrong about that. Let's talk about this. If it wasn't America, if it wasn't the American people that came to America to seek freedom of religion, freedom of speech, to not be persecuted for their beliefs, and peaceful people, okay? And I'm gonna say this, not every tribe wanted them there. So there always was going to be conflict. Just like there was conflict between these native tribes. If it wasn't us to come to the American land, it would have been someone else. Now, people like to say, and they try to build this whole guilt trip that we stole the Indian land. They took over each other's land constantly. Bloodshed was spilled all the time through these Indian tribes. Now, we always view every single native tribe as peaceful. There were peaceful ones, trying to mind their own business, live their life, grow some crops, raise their children, honor their ancestors, blah, 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 this and that. And then there was always those bad tribes that did come around and scalp people, kill people, slaughter, rape, pillage, slave owners. There was such thing as slavery in the Indian tribes.
Nationalism is more or less the sense of feeling patriotic for a state, to the point of defending its actions and being proud of their riches that you don't have. An example of nationalism in the United States is when they were expanding westward to increase their territorial size.
You know what's kind of funny is that we speak about America having borders and lines and making sure people, don't cross these lines unless they do it the legal way. But at the same time, we don't look at Indian tribes to know that those, literally his graph proved it. His graph goes against everything that he's saying. If you had an Indian tribe cross another tribe's line, there was going to be conflict. If you weren't partners in some way, there was going to be conflict. So his argument of borders or lines to keep people out and using the Indians and the native land as an example is self-defeating.
In order to make this westward expansion popular and accepted, the government used the name of God in vain by saying that he okayed the Americans expanding to the western shore, and they called it Manifest Destiny.
Did he just say that he gave the people an okay to come here? Wow.
Even if this is true, did God approve of the idea of killing the natives who innocently lived there already to be slaughtered for that land?
Again, many of these tribes, not all, but many of them were not innocent at all. Many, again, scalped, raped, sold children, men, women, killed, burned down. You know, it was... Some of these Indian tribes were scavengers. Like, they're not all nice. I'm not saying that all of them are not nice. There were some nice tribes. Personally, me, I've met a few tribes. In my years in Boy Scouts, we went to campouts and we would meet up with some of these Indian tribes located all around America. And they themselves said how blessed they are. I'm not kidding you. We sat there listening to them speak and like just do speeches for an hour and a half. And all these Indians were thankful for the American people. They were happy that we came. And I'm talking about the peaceful ones. Obviously, the mean ones, they weren't going to be too happy because they were like, oh, they're going to disrupt my economy and how I do things here. Oh, I cannot trade anymore, blah, 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 this and that. We got some problems there, okay? But the kind ones, the good ones, that minded their own business, those ones that were doing the speeches up at the campout, they were talking in love, compassion towards the American people.
What is with Christian conservatives defending borders when the earth is for all of humanity? Do you feel that immigrants are going to steal your jobs?
I mean, let's say, okay. Oh, do you really think that God's going to come up with borders and blah, blah, blah? Israel. Nehemiah. This guy has not obviously... This guy probably went out online and he just typed in everything that he could find about socialism, communism, and capitalism and the Bible. Coming from an atheist perspective, probably. I don't know. Nehemiah was about repairing the wall to make sure that the pagans did not come in. At the same time building this wall, God ordered them to what? Pick up swords and work at the same time. They worked with one hand and had a sword in the other one. I can't explain any more than that. If you have to build a wall to keep your country safe and to keep the people safe and separate from the nations that want to destroy you, China, the Communist Party, the USSR, which still exists, it didn't collapse. It still exists. You still see the communist symbol flying in Russia, in China. The USSR is an enemy to freedom, and God wants us to live in peace and harmony with each other. But communism, socialism, it's the complete opposite.
Don't think that they're going to steal your jobs, but instead think of how it is the capitalists that are willing to undermine you.
Cheap, ignorant, immigrant, desperate for money to live better, more tolerant to abuse. Smart American worker willing to stand against abuse and more expensive to hire. Now, I understand where he's coming from again. I do understand. But having an illegal immigrant or somebody come in and work and take that job doesn't help the community at all. The people that are already homeless here trying to find a job are not going to be able to find a job because somebody else found a job. It doesn't help anything. Okay? I'm just going to state that right now. It doesn't help anything allowing somebody else come in, take a job that we already have a homeless and a problem with people finding jobs already. Especially in today's world, especially in today's America, if you're jobless and you have somebody outside of the country come in and take that job, you remain jobless. That person finding a job did not help anything.
An intelligent worker, by taking advantage of someone who came there seeking a better life, who is oblivious to the capitalists' greedy action of hiring them for cheaper wages.
This guy is reading from a paper.
Immigrants are workers just like you. The greedy rich are hiring them over you because they know they can get away with it. And it is very nationalistic of you to blame the oblivious immigrant rather than the rich.
I see the swastika on the shoulder. I'm going to skip ahead. This guy is reading a script that I swear came from a second grader that just learned about how awesome socialism is.
Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money.
I agree with that. But having money doesn't mean you're serving money. You can bless people with money. You can buy them food, buy them clothes, buy them something they need, pay for their rent. Money is the root of all evil. That verse is not even speaking about that money is evil. It's saying that money is the root of that evil. Doesn't say that money is evil. It's saying that the root of evil is money. Not saying money is evil overall. You can use money for good, or you can use money for selfish desires. I'm going to end the video here. This video is kind of long. I don't want it to be too long. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe for more. Obviously this guy kind of just, really just This guy's reading a script that probably came from a second grader that has been taught that socialism is great and that capitalism is greedy and that Christians use capitalism to get more money. I feel like it was written by a kid. Like, these are arguments that are presented to us almost every single day that Christians can refute straight off the bat. And we're telling them the truth, but they keep believing a lie. It's almost like this. You have people on the opposite side of Christianity that want to disprove Christianity, and they believe everything they want to hear. But here's the Christian community that says, no, we have not done that. Here's the unbeliever saying, you guys believe this, you guys believe this. With no context, but here we are. We show them the context. We tell them the context. They don't believe. They continue to believe the lie. And I feel like this guy is literally that. He's a guy who has heard a lie and doesn't care about what we have to say. You guys are greedy with your money. No, we buy. No. You guys are greedy with your money. We pay for rent for a house. No. You're greedy with money. The church's job, one of the main duties, is to serve the community. Is to get money. That's what tithing is a thing. We're not forced to tithe. We have a choice to tithe. You get money, you raise it, and you help the community. That doesn't happen in socialism. Socialism and communism is where the government takes what they want. And to be very clear, socialism and communism requires religion to worship the dictator. It requires the religion to have its main focus on them. They can get the mass majority to follow them. It's like what they're doing in China right now. They're taking all religion out. And if they're not taking out a religion, they're making that religion more focused on them. It's worship of a dictator. It's worship of man. Socialism, communism. They don't want you to think for yourselves. They want you to depend on them to give you what you need. Which makes you, and he's talking about slavery in this video constantly, which makes you a slave to the government.